Hi, so today we are going to configure HTTP callout. Okay, and HTTP callout, okay, it's agent. Okay, where agent check the client request. Okay, let's see. This is my HTTP callout agent. This is a Citrix ADC. This is my database. Okay, and is a client. Okay, so the company wants if the client IP address it is in a blacklisted database like database handling by HTTP callout agent. Okay, so it is maintaining that database of blacklisted IPs. Okay, that database is not available on Citrix ADC. So if the client accessing my database, okay, then we should check whether that IP address is permitted or not, or whether it is in a blacklisted. Okay, so what Citrix does, okay, when client sends a request to the database, okay, then it evaluates its HTTP callout agent policy, okay, and sends to the HTTP callout agent to check whether this IP is in a blacklisted list or not. Okay, so on basis on the response from the callout agent, Citrix ADC knows whether the client IP is allowed or not. Okay, so Citrix ADC check its response what's it's saying in a response. Okay, on that response base, okay, Citrix ADC check the policy whether we need to permit it or not. This is how HTTP callout agent works. Okay, so let's see in a practical. Let's log in ns root. Okay, so this my system is a client. Okay, and HTTP callout agent is this one machine. Okay, this is HTTP callout. Okay, is holding all the blacklisted IP details. Okay, so my IP is already added on that client machine as a blacklisted IP. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. So the IP address of uh, HTTP callout agent is 1y2 192.168.30.79. Mhm. Let's see, we have a feature like HTTP callout in a app expert. App expert HTTP callout. This is HTTP callout. Okay, so we're going to add. Okay, name. What's the name? We're going to call out blacklist. Blacklist. Okay. See the IP address of that 192.168.30.79. This is my callout server IP. It's working on port number 80. Okay. It's attribute base. Okay. Method get because we are requesting the get errors. Two options only, get and post. So the get method used to HTTP request that this callout sends mutually exclusive with the full HTTP request expression. Okay, so host expression is the host name for that, nyc dash http dash callout dot workspace lab dot com spacelab.com. Okay, so this is host expression. Okay, and this host expression, the URL stream, okay, is like slash cgi dot b. That is the page which is available, the blacklisted IPs slash CGI slash bin slash check underscore CLIENT check client dot PL. Okay, that's yeah, so just insert. Okay, so the header which you want to insert, what header? So give just header name a call out. Okay, so the value which you want to map here, that is negate. Okay, now the parameters, you want to add what parameters? You want to add your client IP, right? CIP client source IP, CLINT client IP dot source. That's it. Now shame. So the shame is HTTP. We are requesting on based on HTTP only. So it's HTTP. It's good. So return type, we are actually looking for server response, right? So the response we are looking in text. Okay. So what type of text? Okay. So the expression to extract data from the response. So from response, we are looking for HTTP response body. It's 1000 letters, no problem. So cache expiration is default, no issue. Create. Hmm. Something I had typed wrong here. Error expression syntax client IP. Okay, check that. What is the client IP I have added here? Client. Oh, see that spelling is wrong. CLINET. That's wrong. We need to edit it. We don't have edit option. Just delete. Yes. Insert CIP client dot IP dot source. And LIENT client dot IP dot source. Insert. That's good. Great. Okay. Now HTTP callout we have created. Okay. Now we want to import a HTML page. So the HTML page should get when the client IP gets locked or client IP in a blacklisted list. So client must receive that page, right? So we want to respond HTML page. It should receive an error page, and we have that error page. Error page dot HTML. That is URL file we have on desktop. We have error file on desktop, that is error resources. This is error.html page. Okay, continue. See, this is the error page that user will receive. Okay, now this is primary. That's okay, no problem. Now we want to respond our policies because we want to take an action when we get in a response, right? So create an policy for that. Add. Okay. Blacklist policy. Blacklist policy. Action. Blacklist act. List act. Okay, when we want to take an action now, okay, so we want to take an action with respond with HTML page. Mhm. We want to this HTML page is already there, no problem. Response is 200. That is also okay. Okay, create. We'll respond to the HTML page, but when? In what condition you want to respond with that error page? When HTTP request header, just a second. Okay, so HTTP request header host contains HTTP request header contains if HTTP request is for my virtual server 121.10.101. Okay, and and sys HTTP callout blacklist. That is the this is case sensitive. Callout blacklist. Callout blacklist contains blacklist uh, blacklist dot contains why it's not coming here contains blacklist dot contains it's not getting matched somewhere CONTAINS, that's right, contains IP match. If an it contains I get a IP match. Okay, so if a user if user requesting to 172.21.10.101, okay, and my HTTP callout says that IP match in a callout blacklist, okay, then I should trigger this action. Okay, create. Yeah, right. There is some issue. HTTP callout blacklist start and sys.http underscore callout. Oh, callout blacklist. Okay, this should not be in comma because callout blacklist is already we have created, no problem. So this is HTTP callout, and here you can see callout blacklist. So this is already we have created name for the same, so we don't need to, the system already aware about that. Okay, so now we need to we have created a responder policy, right? Now we need to map that responder policy, right? So here is that policy. This is blacklist policy. We want to bind it. Go to the policy manager, go to the load balancing virtual server, HTTP virtual server RBG, continue. Here's the policy, blacklist, go to expression, and that's okay. Bind, done. Okay, now let's see. If we try to access HTTP 172.21.10.101. See, I am receiving now this error page. Okay, if we disable this one, okay, policy manager, HTTP load balancing virtual server, continue this policy unbind. Yes, done. Just refresh. So this policy is now not bind anywhere. You can see the action active. Active is not active now. Okay, and now refresh is accessible, right? But that IP is in a blacklisted list, HTTP callout. So we want to evaluate this policy. So for that, load balancing virtual server, HTTP, continue, policies, blacklisted policy, select, bind, done. See, this is now active now, and this is going to block. Okay, so this is all now. Now again, we just unbind it. We have one more task for that. Load balancing, HTTP, continue, unbind, done. Refresh. Okay, now we will apply a rate limit. Okay, the company needs to configure security policy to protect the load balancing virtual server. The load balancing virtual server LBV SRV RBG. Okay, so this server RBG from the flooding attack. Okay, so configure a Citrix ADC rate limiting feature to check if more than 3 requests from the same source IP for the same URL are seen within 15 seconds, then the user should get error page or that website should get blocked for them. Okay, that's a flood attack. Okay, 121.10.101. Let's see. This is 110.101. If I access that page, okay, multiple times I can access because there is no any limitations. Okay, so in that case, user gets multiple requests. Okay, unnecessary requests. So to just avoid that request or maybe vulnerable to flooding attack, so we want to limit it. How we can limit it? So let's say not 10.101, we have multiple website, right? So let's see home.php. This is the URL. I can access multiple times. Okay, but that's an issue. Okay, this is not the proper way to accessing that URL. Okay, so to limit that, we can do rate limiting. So app expert rate limiting. Okay, here is the selectors. Add limit cell. Limit cell. So selectors. Okay, limit cell. So we want to insert. Okay, so what we want to match here, we want to match client client IP dot source insert. That's good. Plus uh, client IP request, but for what? Request for what? Request for URL, right? So HTTP request dot URL. Okay. Okay. So if this is a client requesting this URL, okay, This is interesting. Okay. Okay. Now we'll create a limit identifier. We want to limit the policy. Okay. So the policy is limit ID. Okay. Selector which I just created, which is limit cell. Okay. So it's a request rate. Okay. Which you want to set request rate, limit type, posting, threshold. I can see 3 in 15 seconds. It's a millisecond, so that's why I'm adding 15 seconds. Okay, just create. That is created now. Okay, now the responder policies. Okay, you create a responder policy here. Okay, responder policy, the limit poll. Okay, limit policy action we want to take, which is add. Okay, we would like to take an action. Take a limit act is the name. Okay, what type of action we are taking? A respond with HTML page. Uh, or respond HTML page. Okay, so this is error page which we are available. Okay, that we are going to take an action. We will respond with the error page. Okay, but when we'll respond with error page when HTTP request URL equals to slash home.php. Home.php. That's it. And and system check limit ID. System check limit my limit ID, right? Which are created. Limit sorry. Okay, system check limit ID. So that's okay. Create. Something is wrong. Okay. Checking for limit system. I think limit ID not required. This two types is there, right? So limit ID create. Again system check. Okay, there is a I think space after that. System check limit ID. Okay. Now still p slash home dot php slash system check limit ID. Guess this is right. System sys check check limit. Oh shit, that's the problem. System limit ID. That was the issue. Okay, so we have created the policy also. Okay, now we are going to apply that policy. Policy manager, load balancing virtual server, HTTP, RBG server, continue. We are going to apply the policy limit poll. Select bind. Done. Okay, now same page. Now if I refresh it more than 3 times in a 15 seconds, I should receive that block page. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, I receive a block page, so you cannot access. This is the error to receive. Set. So this is how the rate limit works. Thank you.